Hey guys, it's Smudge here, and well, tonight I felt like playing a bit of Mudrunner. I've been a big fan of Spintires. I had the original Spintires, and I played quite a few hours on that. And well, I got Mudrunner kind of on pre-order, got it when it came out. I have played one of the maps. I've completed the bog. So I did that on hardcore, which was a lot of fun, just kind of, getting used to the new mechanics and new games. So I thought we'd start a new game on a new map, and then kind of bring you guys along for a ride. Mudrunners, it's like a guilty pleasure. It's one of these games that I kind of turn to when I just want to kind of relax and play something that doesn't require much thought, but it's kind of engaging at the same time, and I quite enjoy it. So the next map to do is the island. So we'll select this. I'll go with the default loadout of vehicles there, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That works for me. There's generally kind of vehicles you can find around the map anyway. We'll start the new game on hardcore, because hardcore is where it's at. Yeah, and then we'll go from there. I've not streamed this before, so hopefully it comes up and starts working. Alrighty, so here we are in game. I'm using an Xbox 360 pad to control this with, just simply because it is kind of made for it. It works. Right, so let's have a look. Right, so we've got a lumber mill quite close. That's nice and handy. We've got a few vehicles here. A little block post. Interesting. Okay. So we've got a couple of watch points. Log kiosk. Log kiosks are where you pick logs up from. You can load logs from them, and then you have to take them to a lumber mill, and then you drop off the logs there in order to complete the map. So on this, there's 2 lumber mills, so I have to get logs to each one of those. Now, so we need to kind of investigate the map first. Now, this is my first time on this map. I've not been on this map before, so we'll need to kind of have a nice drive around and see what we can find. So what I'll do is set a waypoint here, and then we'll go and investigate this one first. So we'll click out here. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then what we'll do is actually kind of change trucks, and I think I've got a little kind of 4x4 GP thing here, which is really quite handy. Turn it on. Okay, handbrake off. I just kind of generally take this in its default configuration. In fact, so on the right hand side here, what I do is that I click the right stick, then it brings up the gear stick, so you can kind of manually change gears. That's first. Second, kind of a little bit better, but it's all about controlling traction. Now, if you've never played this before, just kind of like a quick introduction to it. It is all about kind of driving off-road and kind of doing logs and things like this. But there's a lot of kind of management to it as well. So you've got fuel. Every vehicle's got fuel, of course, as they do in real life, and you've got to manage that, because if we look at the map, there's fuel stations. So there's a fuel station here. And there's none anywhere else. So if we run out of fuel, then you're stuck. That vehicle's stuck in place until you can get a fuel truck to it. Now, you can kind of expand fuel on vehicles by kind of putting external fuel tanks on, and you can get like those trucks that we've got over there, where you can attach a fuel tank to the back of one of them. So we're kind of getting stuck here already. This is pretty nasty mud. What I'll do is just keep pulling forward here. Now, if you get proper stuck, you can winch, so you can connect the winch and just like pull your vehicle out, which is kind of like cheating, but it gets you out of a pinch. And then we'll go release. Yeah. Okay, so now we're kind of off that really nasty kind of puddly, deep, muddy stuff. I think we need to go this way, don't we? Yeah, kind of. I'm trying to think where this is heading off now. Or is that the main road down? Oh yeah, okay, that's right. So that's the main road going this way, and we're going up this way, and then up here. Okay, let's go. So I turned off the all-wheel drive to try and save fuel. As you can see, on this it's not really a bother because the fuel's kind of low, pretty low usage anyway, kind of 0 litres to 1 litres a minute with everything on there anyway. But on the trucks, when you turn on all-wheel drive, you're like kind of like doubling your fuel usage, which can be a bit painful. Is this a lumber mill where you drop logs off at when you need to? So it's all about kind of just keeping an eye on those wheels, and when you see wheels starting to spin, you're not gaining traction, so you need to kind of like downshift slightly. Don't need diff locks, and wheels still covered in mud a bit. Okay, so I've got a truck here to unlock, which is nice, and that's set up with a log carrying configuration, so I can carry medium logs, which is cool. In fact, we need to backtrack slightly here and take that route, so we'll stick them in reverse. One thing that is funny with this, I do find that you can actually kind of sink into tarmac, and sometimes tarmac can be just as squidgy as roads, which is interesting. Very good looking game. You know, there's kind of lots of little details in this which are nice. The mud physics are always quite nice, seeing your vehicle struggling to get across some pretty gnarly terrain. Alrighty, okay, so now there's a bit of water to cross here. Now this is always kind of a funny aspect in the game as well, as water crossing, because you never really know how deep the water is. And sometimes you can kind of get in a bit too deep, drown your vehicle, and then it gets stuck, and then you need another vehicle to come kind of pull you out. But this doesn't seem terribly deep. See, dangerous water levels, so if you get too deep, then your vehicle starts taking damage, which really sucks. Just try and get up here. Come on. Again, if you get stuck, you've always got that winch. But doing okay at the moment. So it's over kind of that way. Now you know where a waypoint is because you get like a little black flag icon that you have to drive into, and then it reveals all of the terrain around that point, which is pretty dandy. When I was playing the original diff lock, so there, if you go kind of too fast with the diff lock on, you can damage the diff, but it's all about kind of managing traction as well as managing speed, because sometimes you can't go forward without the diff lock, and sometimes it's easy to kind of damage it. What the diff lock does is that it locks the wheels so that they all rotate at the same speed, which is kind of good at gaining traction. So if one wheel loses traction and another's got traction, then with them both kind of turning at the same speed. So here, that's not really kind of a good example, but yeah, one wheel can help the other kind of gain traction, which is kind of what the diff lock's for. And then all-wheel drive kind of, as we'll turn that off there, so here the real wheels are spinning and there all wheels are spinning, although we're kind of digging ourselves in a bit here. We might be able to, let's not use that yet, let's go into reverse. We're kind of stuck on the rock there, aren't we? So can't go very fast over rocks either, otherwise you end up damaging your suspension and kind of other parts of the vehicle, which is again bad. So it's about kind of finding a safe path a safe path at a safe speed to do what you need to do. Okay, so there we go, map revealed, which is nice. So if we go back into the map, then we can see that there's a log here and a couple of vehicles there to get. So we'll go get those next. Now, what's nice with this? With the map, you can actually plan routes, so rather than doing like a direct route, if we just hit, I'll use a mouse for this, just hit OK on this, so you can actually kind of go here, set a path let's see, so you want to go here, then you want to go there, and then you want to go there, and then it'll kind of guide you along that path, and then you just hit OK to get rid of it. But if I wanted to go this way, then I can set it there, 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 and there, whatever way you want to do it. So, you know, you can kind of plan routes. And then the compass, you get a little red needle on the compass, kind of shows you which way you need to go, which is a nice handy feature. Let's use all-wheel drive to get over these rocks. So feel free to come say hello in the chat. It's always nice having people to talk to while you're playing these games. Any questions that you've got, feel free to ask, and I'm always monitoring the chat. I've got it kind of next to me, so any questions you've got, anything that you'd like to know or talk about, then, you know, feel free to comment, and yeah, we'll get involved. Okay, so next waypoint's over there. You can see it by that red ring. Now, one thing on this as well, in Mud Runner, there's now internal views which are quite dandy. They're a bit kind of basic, but for what they are and, you know, what you get, it's quite nice. So rather than getting stuck in the river, I'll put the diff lock of the all wheels on, and then we'll just try and drive straight across this. Last thing you want to do is start digging in a river, because it's very, very difficult to get out of. And we'll just switch those off and go back to normal crawling. Hi Piet, and hi Dark Helmet, thanks for joining the chat. How are you doing tonight? Having a good Friday, I hope. So we'll just knock the gears down a bit there, because it's just starting to spin the wheels a bit. As long as you're moving forward, you're doing okay, and that's kind of what you need to aim for, is just kind of keep constant forward motion. Doesn't have to be fast, but as long as you're moving forward, then you're doing okay. So we'll stop near this vehicle, and then that should unlock it, I think. Should it? Or is it already unlocked? I don't know. Apparently we damaged it. Don't know how, but fair enough. It's interesting, it hasn't actually unlocked that vehicle. I don't know why. Change truck. Ah, yeah, there we go. Right, okay, so we can select that truck now. That's dandy. So change truck, we'll go back to our little Jeep. I think there's another one just down there for us to go and get as well. Parking brake would help. Can you play this with the wheel? Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why you'd want to, but it definitely has wheel support, so you can if you're crazy enough. But the amount of kind of left and right steering that you have to do to kind of gain traction, your arms would be like bloody Popeye after just a few minutes, I think. Oh, excellent. So we've got one of these things, which is probably the best crawling vehicle in the game. Kind of best traction, best haulage, things like that. So we'll be using that one a lot, I think. But yeah, it does support wheel. I've got a Logitech G27 kind of gaining dust. I really need to kind of plug that back in, but let's head for this watch point now. But yeah, you can play it with a wheel, I think. Let's see, controls. Yeah, so wheel controls here. You can set brake, accelerate, you know, all of the things that you need to do there. So yeah, full wheel support if you're crazy enough to do that. I can even play it with my joysticks if I wanted to, but not that crazy. So I just kind of enjoy playing this with the Xbox 360 controller, and it just kind of, you know, it's comfortable, it works well. There's not much kind of stress involved in doing that. The camera's a funky thing in this. It can sometimes be a bit more of a hindrance than a help. It doesn't articulate kind of very easily. It's sometimes hard to see what you need to see. But by just clicking kind of D-pad left, I can switch kind of back to front or rear view. climbing over twigs, logs, boulders, rocks. Don't know if any of you guys watch Top Gear, but you know, if in doubt, power! So, oops, not paying attention. Yeah, the vehicles do self-steer sometimes as well to follow the train, so if you're just like not steering, so I'm not pressing kind of steer at the moment, but you'll see that the wheels will kind of start turning as they're hitting terrain and things like this. Stuck on something there. Looks like a big rock kind of hidden in the mud. And you can tip vehicles in this as well, which can be a real danger as well sometimes if you're leaning just a bit too much. Power up this. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, just hit full power and it'll dig itself out the hole. Sometimes it'll dig itself just deeper into it. Some proper thick nasty stuff up here. Just trying to stay away from the absolute soft, squidgy, nasty stuff over there and trying to stay to some of the harder, less compact kind of mud. In fact, we have driven past that, haven't we? Yeah, I was just looking at the thing and noticed that last time there, so let's go do some proper off-roading into the trees. I think, let's see, there's a route actually down that way, so let's try going down there. So it should just, yeah, there it is, just over there, handy. Cool. Right, okay, so there we go. A bit more of the train unlock, which is very nice. Now, there's a garage there. Now, with garages, you have to unlock them by getting garage points to them. And the way that you do that is by loading up these trucks with like garage equipment, and then you have to drive them to the garage in order to unlock it. This map's actually not too bad. The bog, which I was driving previously, was a right bloody nightmare for getting around. It really was. So let's see if we can't get through there, and then right, let's follow that then. we'll turn around and follow this path along until we get to that log kiosk, I guess. Muddy stuff. Now, one thing, being in high gear, you can't actually pull away on high gear, so if I try now, you'll see that the engine starts stalling. So you have to kind of kick that back into kind of like the first of the 3 gears. Yeah, but like I said slightly earlier on, this is just kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, something I do kind of enjoy playing and kind of relaxing at the same time. Bit of power. So I do like kind of just roaming around the map first, kind of getting to see where everything is, and then starting the whole haulage type kind of part of the game. You know, it's good if you can plan out your routes before you start trying to kind of move logs around, because it can become quite difficult if you get stuck. Sure, hi Thomas. Yeah, I can put first person on there for you, that's no problem. There we go. So that garage is just ahead. Again, the first person is a bit basic, but it is kind of, let's just call it utilitarian. You know, it serves a purpose. And kind of have a look about. First person's decent when you're in a kind of like tight quarters trying to navigate through forests and things like that. It is definitely handy for that. But you don't get the whole spectacle of you know, kind of like seeing the mud on the vehicle and what's going on with the vehicle from the outside. Right, okay, so we made it to the garage, which is cool. Kind of took a bit of a direct route there, but we'll try and get out to that waypoint out there. So I'm getting a bit night time now, so we'll turn your lights on. One thing that is very nice in this is the sound. Like when you come in and out of water, you hear fuel. Nice. You hear the kind of like water dripping off the vehicle, and when you're in deep water, you hear kind of like the exhaust bubbling underneath the water, which is a really nice touch as well. There are quite a few nice touches and things like that in the game, like nice little details. So we'll stop there and put some gas in the tank. It all happens automatically, which is nice. Let's see if we can't find a way through this little forest here. It's starting to get nighttime now, which is alright. We're stuck here. I'm going to need to turn on a couple of the diff lock and all-wheel drive. Ah, there it is there, not too far away at all. So we can use kind of first person here to help us drive through and around these trees. Again, that whole balance of kind of balancing off the diff lock against the speed, because sometimes you need the diff lock to get the speed up, but as soon as you've got the speed up, you damage the diff lock. Right, so that's this kind of half of the map unlocked, and there's just one little place down here to get, which we can get a little later on, which is cool. So what we'll do now, I guess, is start planning on moving some logs about. Now you can move to vehicles that you've already kind of found. So you can kind of select them this way, or you can click on them on the map. So we've already got these, so you can move to them and click on them and select them. I don't actually think, did we unlock that vehicle? I think we actually did. Let's have a look. So yeah, okay, oh yeah, that was the log carrying thing that we found there. We've got the D535, which is the nice big kind of haulage truck thing up here. And then you can go back to this. Now the one advantage with this little car is that it's recallable, so you can actually go back to your garage and recall it back to the garage. But in a way, it's a little bit immersion breaking. I don't kind of generally do that myself. I just kind of drive everywhere I need to go, just the way I like to play the game. That way. I think we can actually follow our tracks out that we used to come in. Okay, so what we might actually do is leave this one here, and then we'll go see if we can't start moving some logs about around the north. So we've got a log kiosk here, which is nice, and we've got a couple of trucks there. Don't think they actually had anything on, did they? Right, okay, so this dude's got, is that repair equipment? Yeah, that's a repair box on the back. That D535 didn't have anything on it. Let's see what we've got down here and what we can stick on these. In fact, we'll take the other one. Right, okay, so here from the garage you can install parts onto a truck and kind of load it up as you want to kind of load it up. Let's have a look. So I'd like to let's have a look now. Is it this one that we can let's have a look. Here we go. Because there's one of these you can actually attach a crane to, which is really handy for loading and moving logs about. Don't think we can do it on this one. No, let's check this other one again. I might have missed it on the other one. Here we go. Yeah, log crane carriage. Okay, so that's just the. That's interesting. Log crane carriage, because we've got one which carries the crane over the front of the one. That looks like it carries it on the back. That's interesting. So I guess would that only carry short logs then, unless you carried this? Just thinking the best thing to do here. Okay, so you can use that for loading logs. We might need to end up using that, because I don't think that we've actually got the wagon at the moment that has the I guess the only short logs that'll carry, though. That's a bit annoying, because there's a crane that can carry medium logs, which is nicer. Less. Sorry about this, guys. I'm just kind of thinking about planning a way forward, what to do next. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Let's have a look at these other vehicles. What we got up there? So that's the 373. I think this is the one, isn't it? That can do it. So we need to get this 373 back to the garage. Okay, so he's not got much fuel. He's got plenty of damage on most, but I think we can actually fix ourselves. Here we can. That's cool. Let's get him back to the garage and then we'll go from there. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Just curious if there's any damage on the this guy before I leave it alone. Yeah, he's got some damage. So what we'll actually do is that we'll go fix him and then we'll drive back to the garage. That's a good plan. Cool, so that's all of our repair points gone, but we managed to fix up that as well, which is nice. Let's see if we can get out of here without taking the fence down. Nope. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, Thomas, I talked about that slightly earlier on about putting multiple markers down for route planning, which is a handy feature. Slippy along here. Oh, there's a road over there. I was wondering where's the road gone? Shouldn't really have any trouble crossing this in this wagon. Nope, no, we're very straight across. It's nice and dandy. But as you can see, using all-wheel drive there, we're using 12 to 13 litres a minute. Turn it off and then we're down to like 2 or 3 litres a minute, which is, using all-wheel drive is really expensive when it comes to fuel and managing truck. Let's have a look. So I go here, and there. Okay. squeaky brakes. Let's put some oil on the brakes, that's a great idea. Now one thing, when you're in automatic here, you can travel faster on roads and things like that, but you lose the ability to apply the diff lock, which you know, can cause problems when you're over kind of really sloppy terrain. But this stuff's pretty actually, it's alright for this truck. It's getting over here without much difficulty. Might start getting a bit of difficulty here though, because this stuff's proper sloppy. Yeah, so just kind of grinding to a halt, so we'll put that back in there and we'll get the diff lock on. And we should drive out the stuff pretty nice. No fuss. Yeah, so to refuel, you need to get to the fuel stations. They're the only place that you can actually put fuel in the trucks. I think, I'm not sure if there might be one down here. Usually there's a couple on the map, but on this there just seems to be the one there that I found so far. We'll get down here at some point and unlock it, but at the moment I can just kind of use the log kiosks around here to kind of fill the lumber there. So yeah, but fuel and fuel management is a kind of critical aspect of this, and it's something that you really got to kind of plan for and think ahead for. But you can put fuel systems on some of the other trucks. You can carry like fuel bowsers on the back of them. You can take them to the fuel points to pick up fuel, and then use them as like fuel pigs for driving backwards and forwards. A log cart on the back of it, so I'll stop the engine. Wait a second, and that should come up again. Ah, crane support. There you go. So this is what I want. So first off, we need to uninstall this utility attachment, which is this thing here. Put on crane support. I love this thing with the crane support on. Just makes life so much easier. And then we want yeah, log carrier with crane, which puts the crane on the front, which is very, very handy. And then we'll put a medium log cart in the back, and then we can carry medium logs, which is really, really handy, because then it means that you only need to do 2 trips to fill out a kind of lumber mill, rather than kind of like you know, 4 trips using short logs. Although I think you can do it in 1 trip if you got long logs, but then you need a way of kind of loading and carrying long logs, which is kind of what the D535 is good at. So hi Sean, this game's all about kind of driving around off-road in mud and other things like that. It's a funny game. It's kind of, it's enjoyable. It's about driving around in the mud, kind of hauling logs from log kiosks to lumber mills, while also managing like fuel and damage, because if you're too reckless with your vehicles, you can damage them and things like that. But yeah, that's kind of what this game really is all about. It's just enjoyable. You know, it's something I just kind of like enjoy relaxing and playing. Yeah. So now I've got that trailer on. Oops, wrong bloody button. There we go. So now I've got this trailer on the back. It acts as like an anchor, and it becomes a lot more difficult, kind of moving these trucks about in the mud. A lot more difficult. And with the crane, everything's kind of very physics-based and weight-based, and you can almost kind of feel it, you know, when driving the trucks, when you've got so much more weight on, like when you've got a fuel system full of fuel, and you know, like your truck's kind of all completely loaded up. And when you put logs on this, it becomes even much more of a pain, kind of moving it about the map. Come on, don't get stuck. Just kind of dabbing the throttle here, just kind of squirting it. It uses lots of fuel, kind of squirting the pedal like that, but sometimes it's just the best way to kind of gain traction and get out of a right tight spot. Definitely not going as fast now, and digging in a lot more now that we've got that kind of anchor on the back of the truck. What did I think about the F-18 trailer? I thought it was too short. If I'm absolutely honest, I thought it was very, very short. Yeah, interesting, I suppose. You know, you can pick out a couple of aspects from it. I'd like to see more. Yeah, but I guess it's good, and it's something with ED. They've kind of they've taken the hint that they need to kind of share more. Because one thing they've been really bad at in recent times is just sharing information about kind of where their modules are, what modules they're doing, how their development's going. They've always been very tight-lipped. But since things like Razbam come along and Polychop, or Heat Blur as they are now, and well, not sorry, Heat Blur, Miltech 5, sorry, as Polychop is now, they've always been quite open about their development, and I think ED is kind of taken on to that now, and they're starting to share a lot more about where their developments are and things like that, and I think it's a really positive step forward. You know, and I think that you know, they've made the right decision in coming forward and sharing more information about you know, about the aircraft and where they are in that sort of stage of development. But I'm definitely very, very, very looking forward to the F-18, and the Harrier's kind of massively looking forward to that as well. Oh well, thanks for your sub there, Sean, man. That's really nice of you. I like Piet's comment there, though. Why sub to me? I don't upload videos. But, you know, you never know, one day. Right, where are we going on this? Okay. I do love that effect, how the water just kind of like washes off the vehicle. Well, I shouldn't have stopped there really, that does kind of make me dig in. You need to use momentum to get across little streams like this. Come on, get out. Jig the throttle. You can see it kind of better in first person, kind of just jigging the throttle there, just kind of helps you get that little bit of traction and get out again. How much is it on PS4 and PC? I think it's about £15 on Steam. Definitely between £15 and £20. I don't think it's any more than that for Spintires or Mudrunner. It's quite a cheap game, really, but it's yeah, it's definitely worth the money. You can kind of whittle away hours and hours and hours playing this game. It gets addictive, it really does. Cool, so we're coming up on the log part here, and now comes the fun part, which is actually kind of loading loading logs, which in hardcore all has to be done manually, which on the bog when I was playing that I didn't actually have this crane set up. I was using a tractor to kind of move the logs backwards and forwards, but on this it's got its own little crane on board, which means I can do it all kind of independently from the truck, which is nice. So we'll take a wide berth here, so we'll need to get the truck and trailer straight. Come on. Although with the diff lock on it doesn't turn very well. Let's see, we should be able to make that, I hope. Should be. Yeah. Cool, looking good. And we'll straighten her up and then get the trailer nice and straight. Cool, I think that's a good place to be, happy with that. So we'll put the handbrake on, go into advance, and then we need to turn the anchors out and then push the anchors in. That helps steady up the truck while we're moving the crane about, and then we'll operate the crane. So it's all used on the Xbox pad with the up and down kind of things. So that's forward, and then we've got rotate and then up and down. So we'll bring this around here. Now, with this crane, the most you can lift is about 3 logs at once, so we'll do medium logs. I'll try and grab 3, sometimes it's a bit iffy with 3, sometimes it just grabs 2, but yeah, if you're careful and kind of smart about how you use the grappler, sometimes you can load 3 at a time, which is handy. We got 2 that time, that's fine, I'm happy with 2. Ah, dropped them! It's like that bloody claw game, isn't it, in the arcades, where you have to grab the teddy bears and get them out again. Very swell. Need to lift it up slightly. This is always the fun part, though, getting the logs on the trailer. So we'll drop that one there. Get me lefts and rights all confused here. It's all gone wrong. Another one, and then we'll just try and stay at 2 at a time. Hopefully we don't drop them. We need to, I think it's 6 logs or something that you need to load on, then you can pack the truck. No, I think we've got a better hold of these ones. Right. This all just comes with practice. We've got that bottom one fully, it might fall out, but we'll roll with it. What's the worst that could happen? Just take it nice and slow. Right, so when you've got sufficient loaded on, you see these green spots come up, you can hit that and then you pack the load, and then it loads up 4 points of logs. There we go, so that's loading the truck. And then what we need to do is get this to a log kiosk. Not log kiosk, that's where we are now. We need to get to lumber mill, which is right there. So we'll set a route. So we'll go here, there, and then straight down there. And then that should take us kind of straight into it. Cool. Let's get going. So Sean, do I stream all the time or just sometimes? It kind of depends on how I feel. I stream maybe about 2-3 times a week, depending on my work schedule and real life kind of stuff, but I do, kind of stream quite regular. I kind of play, I'm trying to kind of expand into more games. I've been kind of doing a lot DCS, or my channel was mainly kind of built around DCS, which I still play. I was actually flying DCS slightly earlier on. I just never kind of turned on the stream, so I was just kind of messing about and practicing. But hopefully tomorrow evening I'll have a DCS stream going on. I've got a couple of ideas of things to do. I'm just kind of trying to expand into other games and things like this, you know, kind of expand the audience a bit and, you know, kind of share more of the things that I like to do. You know, if people like it, I suppose they can like it. If they don't like it, then, you know, they don't have to watch it. I guess that's the best way to look at it, really, isn't it? But, yeah, my subscriber base is going up, and, you know, that's, you know, I guess that's a good sign. If it starts going down drastically, then I know, I guess I'm kind of doing something wrong. But yeah, I just kind of like to chill out and play. DCS is Digital Combat Simulator. It's a pretty advanced kind of combat flight sim. If you go to www.digitalcombatsimulator.com, you can kind of get a lot of information there about what the game is about and what it does and all the other good stuff there. But I like simulation type games, you know, games that are kind of quite involved, and, you know, things like DCS. This, in a way, because I suppose it is the closest thing you can get to an off-road truck driving simulator. You know, a lot of my games are definitely all kind of you know, simulation or strategy based. They're the games that I like to play, you know, and you know, I guess they're the people that kind of subscribe to my channel like to watch. Come on, getting pretty wedged in here. Let's see if we can't turn that out. So just to kind of show what I'm doing here is just kind of waving this backwards and forwards and just trying to gain some traction, but she's pretty logged in there, so what we might actually have to do is winch ourselves out of here. So just pull on the winch, give it a bit of gas, and then she pops right out. Getting these logs out there is a bit of a pain. Like I said, when you load up things, the truck just gets much heavier. And when the truck gets heavier, it gets much harder to handle. It sinks into the mud a lot more. You know, and as you can see, they're using kind of like tons more fuel because of having to use all-wheel drive more in order to gain traction. But yeah, this is kind of like the most difficult aspect of the game, is just trying to kind of move the logs about the map. This is actually a fairly easy map. I thought that the bog, which was the first map I kind of did on this, was actually a lot harder than this. But this has got kind of roadways everywhere, and, you know, you don't have to kind of do so much kind of off-road exploring, trying to find your way around the place. Because the bog, which is the first map, is everything's just kind of waterlogged and really bad mud everywhere, and it was such a pain trying to get the logs across the map to some of the points. But I'm enjoying this one. This one's a lot more kind of relaxed and a lot easier to kind of navigate around, which is nice. And I think getting across here is going to be interesting. Turn on the all-wheel drive again. Hopefully we don't get stuck trying to get out of this one. There's not many trees to winch out of here. Don't want to tip the truck either, that would be super bad. Just keeping the RPMs low, not kind of pushing the throttle so much, just trying to keep traction up. Alright, that was alright, wasn't it? So stick it in high gear, then we'll get the flock out of here. No, the gas is free. You just need to get to the kind of gas kiosks, I guess they're called, or the gas stations or fuel stations. You need to get to those in order to put fuel in the truck. So we're about to make our first delivery to this lumber mill, which is nice. So we'll just drive into here, stop, then it will automatically offload. This has been a pretty easy haul, quite happy with that. Yep, so we'll unload. 4 points loaded, there we go. So we need to deliver 8 points here, so we've done half the load. And then there's another lumber mill down here which we're yet to investigate, but we'll take a little jeep car thing down there at some point, I think, and we'll go investigate that. What I might do actually is leave this here, so we'll switch the truck off, try and save fuel, and then we'll jump in one of these. Let's have a look. I might use the 255, and then what we'll do on this is put a do I think I could get about the map using a fuel cistern in this? That could be pretty painful on some of this. I'll put a fuel cistern on. We'll just go for that one for now. Yeah, that looks good. Cool. Right. And then what we'll do is that we'll go load this up with fuel. Because at the moment this is empty. In fact, we'll go into advanced and then hover over this. Go away. Yeah, so as you can see, that you can actually see the fuel in the tank in there, which is really cool. But this is currently empty. But if we drive away, what's going on here? Yeah, you can see the fuel sloshing about in the tank. Such a nice effect on this. But yeah, when you fill this up, you'll see this kind of filling up with fuel as well, which is quite duty. Getting stuck in here already. I'll switch on the all-wheel drive just to get through this part. Proper muddy here on this part, the waterline part. Digging in here, and this truck is struggling with this. Needs a bit of all-wheel drive just to help me up here. Yeah, I bet this truck doesn't get checked for emissions. Cool, and then we'll go straight down here and hopefully we can get straight to the fuel cubes. So plan a route, so we'll go there and then it's kind of straight up, let's see, there, and to the fuel station. So there's a bit of a roadblock here. Trucks with no lumber are allowed to pass. Alright, okay, that's interesting. So we can't take lumber trucks through the outpost. That's good to know. I have to remember that for later. Sorry for moving fuel about the map though, I suppose. And where we're going here? I suppose it's this way. How many vehicles can you go to? Can you keep changing vehicles? Yeah, you can keep changing vehicles. You can either drive up to the vehicle and change that way, or you can just go into the map and kind of move across to change vehicles. You have 3 vehicles normally to start with, like a maximum of 3. But then you can explore the map and unlock other vehicles to use. But every time you play the game, the vehicles that spawn into the map are different. So we kind of got lucky this time, although I'm not using it really. I suppose I could be. I don't really need to at the moment. Is the D535, which is a proper good kind of off-road truck. Yeah, I don't really kind of need to be using that at the moment because the terrain isn't that bad and I'm not struggling to get about the map. When I played the bog on the last map, I just had very, very basic trucks to use, but I had the K700 tractor, which was kind of like the saviour for getting big trucks out of the mud. So I don't know if you can hear that there on the stream, but as you can see that the exhaust just slightly underwater. It's kind of like bubbling away, and you can hear it kind of bubbling away under the water. That's probably one of my favourite effects in this game. Such simple little things like that, like little details that I know I shouldn't have stopped. Never stop in water. Just one of those simple little details that's like really quite cool. Come on, you can get up here. Happy days. Cool, so we made it to the fuel station. So park up here and then we'll switch off the engine. Cool, and then we can fill up the cistern on the back. Bang, 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 bang. And now we're really, really, really heavy. So the truck's full of fuel and the cistern's full of fuel, so we can use that to fill up the other trucks about the map. Yeah. But now this truck's really heavy, so it'll be a lot harder kind of moving it around the mud. But the reason I use this truck is because it's got super, super thick off-roady kind of traction tyres on there, which is proper handy. So it's got really good traction, and it's good at moving about mud. So we also need to unlock this garage as well. That's something that we need to do. There's certain things that I need to do on every map in order to get 100% completion on the map. There's explore all of the map, unlock the garage, and deliver all of the logs. That's kind of like the order in which you need to kind of do things. Okay, so in fact we can just drive straight out of here, can't we? And then kind of move back this way. Yeah, let's do that. Hi there, Mary. How you doing? Are you alright? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Feel free to ask any questions that you might want to ask about this or anything. You know, what's the meaning of life? I'll even try and answer that one for you. By the way, the answer to that's 42. But yeah, I'm just kind of, it's Friday night, I felt like playing Spintires, so we're here playing Spintires. is a fun game. You know, it's a relaxing game. You know, it's just something you can kind of like switch off and play. You know, it doesn't require a great deal of thought, maybe, I don't know. Sometimes it can be a bit challenging, kind of trying to figure out, you know, like routes to get from A to B. This map's really actually easy. I'm amazed at how easy this map is, considering it's the second map. The Bog, which was the first map I played, was just an absolute pain in the ass. It was a terrible, terrible map for trying to drive around. Go this way. But yeah, I'll hopefully have a DCS stream up tomorrow. That's the plan. Sunday night I've got to take the kids out to a fireworks party thing, so it might not be about Sunday night, but definitely looking to do some flying type stream tomorrow, maybe something a bit different. We'll have a look. And I've got a couple of other videos that need uploading. Next episode of Bomber Crew is done, which was horrendously painful, but I'll get that up. And then what else have I got? I've got a couple of squad videos to upload, and maybe kind of playing a bit more squad with a friend of mine, kind of over the next week or two. So you know, lots of content coming soon. Excuse me. I know my truck isn't carrying loads because I'm carrying fuel. Cool, so we can now use the fuel that we've got in here. Oops, as he presses the wrong button. So advanced fuel system to refuel our log truck. Nice! And as you can see, that's now all floating around in there, which is cool. So we'll pull this guy out of the way. It's starting to get dark again, which is fun. So what I'll do is leave this truck here, at least then it's kind of accessible. And we can fuel up trucks that pass. So put the handbrake on, switch off the engine. Some cool little effects on this one. I probably like some of the stuff they've done with this. And then we'll do another log run back to here, and that should complete this one. Then what we'll have to do then is kind of navigate down here, maybe drive down this way, get to this watch point and unlock this part of the map, and see what sort of challenges we've got to contend with there. Another thing that we need to do as well is get garage points here to unlock this garage. In fact, what we could do, not driven this dude yet. Let's get this guy up and going. Proper beefy. Proper beefy. This guy doesn't have any problems getting about the map. It is just the ultimate off-roading vehicle. Yeah, it's got always on diff lock on this, which is nice, so you don't have to worry about moving that on and off. But the only problem is it uses fuel like absolute crazy, and especially when you put on all-wheel drive. So there we go, 34 litres a minute on all-wheel drive. Yeah, it's going to absolutely chew through its fuel. Yeah, so a bit of a hog on fuel, but for carrying loads about the map, there is no better vehicle than this in Spintires. Hi SKS, thanks for joining the chat, and thanks for liking and subscribing, buddy. That's really nice of you. yeah, trying to, you know, I do kind of regular streams and kind of gameplay and things like that, so, you know, always welcome to come join in on the chat and take part. Anything that you want to know, any questions you've got to ask about anything, just, you know, feel free to comment, and, you know, I'll do what I can to give a reasonable answer, or other people in the chat might be able to give you answers if I can't. Just love this thing, it's proper beastie. Take damage there. Come on, get out. So a couple of damage there just from water damage, because I guess the engine's really low on this, but we can fix that, that's no problem. As long as it doesn't get too damaged. Muddy. Gonna damage the engine again here, or flood it? Hopefully not. Cool, made it out loud okay. Some fuel trucks, so what I might actually do is up here. Let's see, we might actually need to change to this dude, and then we'll then go advanced fuel, and then refuel him up, and then we'll change. We're back. Nice, there we go, full of fuel. See, that's why you park that truck there, because it's really handy. Take the handbrake off so much. Sorry about the camera there, sometimes the camera can get proper flaky. So how's everybody out in YouTube land tonight? Everybody having a good Friday night? reverse on this, then we might put a 4-point garage trailer on the back. And this should be capable of dragging that trailer right across the map. Cool, right, okay, so now we want, let's have a look. Garage, trailer garage parts. How shall we do this? I'm sure that used to be just a garage semi-trailer thing, but okay, so we can't. In fact, we need to uninstall it first. Put that on the garage trailer. Cool. There we go. So now we're set up for fully unlocking the garage that's on the other side of the map. So we'll go do that now. Should be more than capable of dragging this horrible garage trailer across the map. But we'll soon see. It could weigh us down and get us stuck, but we'll soon find out. Actually, do is kind of look this way and then cut straight across. So that is going to act like a massive heavy anchor. Keep the all-wheel drive on, we've got the fuel for it now. Home free now, at least should be. Back on the rough stuff. See that trailer kind of knocking back there, knocking about back there. Cool, garage points on road 4, and then we completely unlocked the garage there in one trip, which is nice. Right, okay, so I think we can actually leave this dude here. We don't really need him for anything else at the moment. I guess he got a long... Can he carry a long log carriage on this? I'm not sure. He can definitely carry the semi-fuel trailer, which is nice. I'm surprised he couldn't carry any other trailers. Utility trailer. No. Right, okay. That's interesting. He can't actually carry as much as what I thought he used to be able to, but never mind. So we'll switch him off and leave him here for now. Then we'll go back to our lumber truck. Yep. Well. So here comes always the most fun part, which is reversing with a trailer. So you have to turn the trailer before you turn the truck. And that's not actually turning properly there, so we'll straighten up and we'll try that again. Job's a good one. How crazy would it be to go this is full speed? This is probably going to damage something. Or just dig us in completely. No. Right. Oh! I knew that was going to happen. Let's see, can we back out here? Got it well and truly wedged in here. Like this is, yeah. Yeah. Might need to bring down the D535 thing in order to tow me out of this. Can I? Ah, thank God there is actually a terrain range. Ah, thank fuck for that. There we go. We just kind of like dug a really massive hole going in there at full speed. That really wasn't very clever. Let's not remember to do that again. Yeah, whoops. You got that right, Piet. What's the worst that can happen? Obviously. Making a massive trough with the front of your truck as you drive into the lake. Or river. River even. Let's approach this one a bit more carefully, shall we? Come on. Ah, job's a good one. Right, we're done. We're out of clear. Right there, that should be fine. Cool, and then we'll get ready for using the crane again, so we'll turn out the anchors, push the anchors, go to crane. And we'll load up a couple of logs. Do a couple more and then we'll pack the truck. Cool, so we should be all packing now, yep, there we go. Jobs are good and another load of trucks on board, logs on board, so let's get out to here and go and deliver this lot. And that should unlock the first lumber mill. Oh dear. Oh dear. proper funky seeing everything moving on the back of the truck. Like suspension going up and down, springs, dampers, logs moving about. Alrighty, let's see if we can't get across this again. Well, every time we're going over here, we're digging a bit deeper. Oh no, 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 don't do that, don't do that! Ah, shit! Ah, crap. Oh, bollocks! Yeah, whoops. Oh no. No. Oh. Oh no, it's gonna have to be D535 to the rescue now, isn't it? Let's see, can he carry? Can't carry. Can carry utility trailer. Don't really want that, do I? That sucks. I thought he would be able to carry a utility thing on his back to fix the truck once I pulled it back over, but never mind, we'll just go as we are. Time for a rescue mission. I can't believe that. Whoops. What's my fastest way there? Well, where's the truck gone down? It's there, isn't it? So, there. And then, right. I can't believe. I knew as soon as I was going in there the thing was going to tip. I just felt it and I was like, oh no. Come on. It's proper deep, nasty kind of wet mud here and it's just. There we go. Come on. Out you come. For a rescue mission. Spinning the wheels right here. Proper deep nasty mud here. No problem for this thing though on all-wheel drive, but the only problem is on all-wheel drive unless it eats fuel. Switch off the all-wheel drive and without those front ones pulling it along it's just zero traction. there's the log kiosk. Ah, right, okay, that's a separate log kiosk. That's handy. Straight through here. Litres a minute to try and get this thing up a hill. Imagine trying to have to pay the fuel bill for this thing. Straight ahead. That's really funny, I'd never noticed that before. You see that? The exhaust is blowing the tree around. That's proper funky, I never noticed that before. That's proper cool, I like that. Yeah, I don't know why I never noticed that before, but the exhaust absolutely is pushing grass and trees and everything around. Alrighty then, time to rescue our truck. I let go of that. Is it just going to tip again? Let's have a look. Oh, we managed to save 2 logs. In fact, there's a log there. Is there any other logs about? What I actually do is see if this will allow us to repurpose. Cranky. Come on. it pack? One more logs need to be positioned. What now? Already packed. Wow, okay, so it's actually let us do it with the 3. Yay! Now let's see if we can get across here without tipping it over. Tell you what we could do actually, just to be safe. Let's turn this off. No, why did you do that, you bloody plonker? Oh, yes, no, we need to like that, and then we need to repack these, don't we? There we go. Right, okay, so now we'll stop engine, and then we'll change truck back to this dude, and then we'll do something funky. Nowhere near him damaged him. Fudge sake. So this is what you call assisted pulling, so the AI drives that truck and follows me as I winch him across. And 2 trucks work better than 1 truck. Nice. Of course, I'm using all of the fuel in the world pulling this truck along here, and if I turn off my all-wheel drive, I ain't going nowhere. So it makes a good pulling truck, this thing, but it uses all of the fuel. Back on track. Hopefully we don't tip this thing over again. Although there's a real possibility. Where should we go now? Straight down. Another lake crossing. Hopefully we can get across this one without the assist, but we've got the 535 or whatever it is right there in case we need it. No, 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 no you don't, no you don't, no you don't, no you don't. She's completely and utterly stuck. Cool, right. 535 to the rescue! The only problem with this, it's got quite a low centre of gravity, so fording, getting across rivers and things like that can be a bit painful. Boogie doogie pig and boogie. Right, yep, winch connected. Cool beans, right, okay. Refuel, and then we'll park this guy off to the side of the road. Automatic works. Awesome, we're getting there. I think we'll drop this load off and then call it a night. Awesome! So that's 8 points delivered to this one, so this one should now be complete, which it is. That's 8 out of 8 points, so that lumber mill's done. Then the next thing we need to do is just go investigate this area around here, find this lumber mill, and anything else that might be fun and engaging down there. Yeah, so I might save that for next time. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's the first time I've actually streamed Spintires, so we'll see what kind of reception we get on that. Again, like I said, it's a game I like to play. I just find it quite relaxing, kind of like a chilled out game to play. Yeah, let me know what you think. You know, leave some comments, like it if you like it. You know, if you love it, subscribe. If you want to really support my channel, I have kind of made a PayPal-y thing, which is paypal.me/smudge504, just in case you want to donate anything. You know, pennies, pounds, it all helps. You know, kind of bring more and better content. You know, kind of upgrade computers, buy more games, all that type of good stuff. So yeah, on that note, I'll say good night. Thanks for joining the stream, and we'll see you lovely people next time. Bye for now.